Well, Victor, here is StoryMercedes.com. This is another part for Randy in Pennsylvania. Okay, Randy, so let's see what was done at this point. I did make a patch for your lower harness, so that's fine now. As you can see, maybe if you can see on the video here, there's a new wires down under there on the temperatures, on the oil pressure sensor. So that one is done. Then the mass airflow sensor wires are also repaired. As you can see, there's the mass airflow sensor connector. The wires obviously go all the way down inside the computer box. Same on this side. Here's the new loom. It starts from here and follows all the way to the other side, further down the line inside the computer box. Okay, it's kind of brutally cold today. Temperature dropped down a lot, so it's pretty cold. So I'm gonna try to make this video from inside the car more than from the outside. Now, when I was removing the cover for the cabin filter, the bolts just snapped off because they're frozen. So I put some catalyst to try to break them free. Now, this mass airflow is from my car. I didn't still find the mass airflow, if I even have them. Another used one that I had, I just looked around real quick and I couldn't find it. So I just put in mine just to get it to run. Right, so that's that. Spark plugs, I just pulled out one from each side. These are the proper ones. Those are some sort of platinums or whatever, so they're not the proper spark plugs. So I bought 12 spark plugs. I will replace them all. Auxiliary fan does not work. That's important because that's overheating situation if it doesn't come on. These cars run really hot, and auxiliary fan is needed. So basically I didn't trace it yesterday. It was very late, but what I did find out is that somebody crossed the wires over here. The wire that's supposed to go to the coolant temperature was connected to the cam solenoid, and the cam solenoid was connected to coolant temperature. Totally no, because if you do that, then the auxiliary fans would activate and they keep running. So I don't know what happened here yet. I have to dig into it because coolant fan did not activate yesterday. I mean, I looked over here at the main connector real quick. Fans do turn, so fans are good. It's the control. I'm afraid that was sort of something has been damaged in the line, because that was always engaged. Like the sensor was wrong, so fans would run all the time. So that's not proper, and I don't know yet. I'm gonna have to dig into it. I have to activate it from the climate control inside the car, so I'll pull it out and then try to jump fans from climate control. That's the one that controls activation of both fans, both speeds. I don't know if the resistor is okay. Again, these are all unknowns. I have to look into that. I'll check that out and let you know what's going on. Here is the patch for the lower harness. As you can see, some white zip ties there. These are my zip ties, so looks pretty nice. And I'll show you a nice kind of surprise here, what happened after I did the wiring harness. Let's go inside the car now, finally. Oh yeah, one quick note before I forget. The you know, the usual thing on these cars is that HVAC distribution block leaks on the bottom. So I smudged some silicone under. I felt the crack and just filled it up. So there's gonna be, it seems like it's holding vacuum just fine right now. This is the port where it takes vacuum, and obviously when I checked it, it was not holding anything. So that is good. What else? Well, all of these oil leaks, I mean, that is sort of, it is what it is. I'm not going through the oil leaks. I mean, yeah, obviously there's an famous oil leak from that U-shaped cover under the upper chain cover. I have a video about that when I did it on one of the V12s, the red V12. So let's go inside because it's kind of cold. And okay, so this car has not been started since yesterday night. Let's put on the ignition. So it's 40 degrees that it shows, but actually it's gotta be a little cooler, well, based on the thermometer I have inside. So let's start it up. Oh yeah, so what I was gonna show, as you can see, now all the lights come on. Well, this bulb is out. I mean, there's something wrong with the suspension, but you see all the lights come on. So before, as you remember, when I put on the ignition, the lights blink and it would go out, especially those lights because of the shorts in the lower harness. So that is very encouraging. And also when you start the car, these lights don't go out right away. They stay, I mean, it's a normal procedure. Everything is good. So this is the cold start. It tries to catch its idle, but there could be some vacuum leaks here and there, but as you can see, the car started right up. It takes a while. I mean, it could be that the breather pipe or something, not really critical. So let it just or it could be that post start enrichment circuit is a little twitchy, but again, this isn't principle. You see the idle is stabilizing pretty well. So, and again, this is 40 degree start, and this is the first start of the day. That's actually pretty nice. All the lights went out. Now there is no check engine light, but that probably could be because I had computers removed for a long time when I was rewiring your harnesses. So that explains it. So that is that. Now this runs pretty nice. I mean, once I do spark plugs, then it should be actually even better. Right. So what else? So yeah, I mean, I guess this would be a quick update. I don't know what to do with the instrument cluster yet. I haven't decided. Should I pull it out and try to move the face? Because the face is really crooked. I don't know what even happened there at that point. Just weird. That's acceleration. It's still cold, so obviously I just give it a little gas. It has to warm up a little bit. One more thing that I actually should mention here. I drove it down a little bit just to feel it out. I think tires have flat spots on them. That's one thing that I noticed. I did fix the shifter linkage bushing. Now it shifts like nice and tight in gear and in park. It's very important too, because car can roll if bushings go bad. Now the situation here, when I drove it down the road, the roll bar keeps popping up. Okay, it just jumps, and when it jumps, it doesn't really go down. You see, I'm pressing on the button, it doesn't go down. Now to get it to reset, you have to press and hold this button to go in up position until you hear a click in the back of the roll bar. There was the click, and now roll bar lowers. Now it's really annoying actually when you accelerate hard, it just pops up. And then from what I see is that on the left rear, the sensor is much closer to the lower control arm, the roll bar trigger sensor, than on the right side. Again, I don't know what's up there, what's going on, what happened, but that is what I see with that activation. The car squats when you accelerate hard, it just goes down, and then it triggers the sensor because it's like literally like this far away. I have no idea why it happened, and because again, this is something that is I'm not looking into right now. First, the major focus is onto the engine and transmission. Transmission seemed to be a replacement unit altogether from the dealer. There is a little plate on it. Like one of my subscribers told me that if you see that metal plate riveted to the body of the transmission, that means it's a dealer replacement. It's not a rebuild. Transmission is really nice. Actually, I really like it. Each and every gear, nice and crisp, and the right timing, everything's on point. Alright, so I got a little warmer here, so we can go outside now. Okay. Again, I'm not going through these things deep, but the solenoids that lock in the cover, the tonneau cover, those are leaking badly. This one is leaking really badly. It just keeps dripping. Not the solenoids, I'm sorry, the roof cylinders. So this one is leaking, that one is seeping. So obviously that's like the next step. But you know, it is what it is. Now when I have no air cleaners, there's a lot of air floating around because of the windy day, and it can influence readings from both mass airflows, because if you blow, you know, if the air passes through it, it can actually change the engine, the way it runs. It becomes unstable. And right now it's kind of okay, but again, first things first, spark plugs. And I also want to clean up the distributor cap on this side. That one I did, that was pre-burnt, but this one I have to still do. And again, because of the air, the engine runs inside the car, you don't feel it, but let's try to kind of like close it. I mean, I don't know if I can show it to you. It's like not very even, you know. I mean, you can see when it warms up, it's perfect, but again, I mean, I need to change those spark plugs. I need to also get the valve repaired for the evap system, because this one is here. I blocked them off at the moment, just completely blocked them off, put some tape on it, so there is no vacuum leaking. As you can see, it's just tape over, just to block them off, because if I have one valve disconnected, then it sucks air in. So same on this side here. So I didn't want to have that major leak going on. And right, so that's that. So close the car, go inside. It's kind of cold. Yeah, exhaust, because you have catalytic converters. The exhaust kind of smells. Well, just like on my car with the smaller racing catalytics, they're like too small. Oh yeah, nice and warm here. Okay, yeah, climate control works well. I have no problems here, but I still need to check on the coolant fan, auxiliary fan, electrical fan activation. I think there is some sort of some air leak somewhere. I'm yet to check it with the smoke machine because it's a windy day today, so I can't really use it. The smoke is gonna be blown away, but in upcoming days it's gonna get a little warmer. I'll pick a day where there's gonna be no wind, and then I'll check it with the smoke machine to make sure that there is no air leak. To me, it feels like there is an air leak. There is a slight miss in the engine. So again, one step at a time. First, we need to do the spark plugs and the rotor. I clean up the rotor a little bit and the cap, and then, because you see how it's like not being even. See the RPM gauge, and I can feel the engine is like shakes a little bit. So yeah, so first things first, I mean, I'll change the spark plugs because that is a must to do. But acceleration is very happy. I mean, your auxiliary, I mean, your mechanical fan, coolant fan is always engaged too. So it just stays engaged, so therefore it's a little loud. I mean, probably better to have it engaged than not engaged, because then you would overheat. But obviously, ideally it was designed so when you reach certain RPMs, like 35 to 4,000 RPMs, and when the engine is cold, then the fan isn't engaged. I don't know what happened there, but if you don't race the car, you'll be all right. As you can see now, acceleration is great. It's just the right way, the way it's supposed to be. And inside the car, I don't feel no vibration, although the engine mounts and transmission mount, they're all bad, but it still runs pretty good. And again, like I said, you must do the whatchamacallit, we'll take care of it later, I guess. The suspension is too harsh. Like, I can see that suspension, there's something wrong with it. But again, I'm yet to check it with the computer. Once it's gonna get a little warmer, then I'll do it. See, this, the engine like surges up and down a little bit. It could be a vacuum leak though somewhere. This, the way it runs, I mean, it's like almost there, but not totally there. So could be a vacuum leak, maybe like around the injector seal or something. I had a customer with the same thing where it would just do that. But again, I have no air cleaners, so there could be a wind. As you can see, there's like leaves blowing around everywhere, and let's see the tree. So it's quite windy, so it is a possibility that the wind blows under the engine and gets into the mass airflow sensor and throws the reading off. It's extremely sensitive. Even on a diagnostic computer, sometimes you cannot catch that reading fluctuation. Okay, so I'll wrap this up for now. Let's leave it to that. It's really annoying to look at this instrument cluster RPM gauge being crooked, so you know what? I think I'll pull it out once it warms up a little bit, so everything becomes a little softer. Then I'll try to pull this out, and then like, really, I want to see that dial straight. All right, so let's see if I can just do this real quick, and then next thing will be is I'm gonna try to activate auxiliary fans, see if they work off the climate control to the pin directly to activate relays. I want to see that. All right, so this is all for now. This is Victor at RestoreMercedes.com. Thank you for watching.